Anyway, our telephone number is simple, 901-3000-TOM. 901-3000-TOM is our telephone number. 901-3000-866. Jonathan in Whittier, you're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Tom, how you doing?
Doing okay.
Yeah, I do care. Great topic, and first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to the people in the P1 Leykis group on Facebook. But anyway, moving on.
By the way, may I say, I want to say it because you're the first person to do that. That's not cool. Because you all plan on getting mentions of your little group on the air, and honestly, we have a Facebook page. You're essentially telling people to leave our page and go over there. So I would ask, if you're going to have your group, that we don't use this as a platform to promote other people's Facebook pages, because we work pretty hard on what we do here.
Yeah.
All right, does that make sense? I just wanted to, by the way, I don't mean to beat on you. It's a message for everybody in there, because I read the content in there, and I see that people are trying to set it up so you all call in and say hello to each other on here. Say hello to your friends on Facebook. Don't be coming on here and promoting Facebook page. You just go to Facebook and say hello.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's for the future reference of the other people who might think to call in and give that gratuitous mention like you just did. Not cool.
All right, sorry, Dad. So I have an alcoholic uncle and an enabling diabetic grandmother, and he's been living with her for the last 15 or so years, and a lot of people believe that, a lot of people in our family believe that he's the reason that my grandfather passed away. He brought booze, well, not the reason, but he was kind of a catalyst. He brought booze back into the house of an alcoholic. My grandfather was sober for about 19 or 20 years, and then once my uncle brought booze back into the house, my grandfather was dead within about a year. And anyway, my grandma is just the biggest enabler. Like, I stayed with her last month, and I had stayed for like a weekend. I was going to stay with her for a weekend, and one time, on that night, on a Friday night, I was trying to get some rest, and my uncle, who's been living there for 15, 16 years, I hear him in my grandma's room, kind of saying, "I'll stand here all night." He was just wasted off his ass, saying, "I'll stand here all night, and make sure you don't get any rest." My grandma had to be up at 4 a.m. To get to her kidney dialysis, and she was the only reason I didn't kick his ass is because I knew that she would call the cops, and I would be the one who got arrested, not him, because she will protect him, no matter how verbally abusive he is to her. She will constantly just side with him. And that, I wanted to fucking knock his lights out, but I didn't, because I knew I would be the one going to jail. That's her baby boy. She'll never kick him out. And this stuff goes on. I gotta, guess at least every weekend, if not, several times a week. So I just got the fuck out of there and got a hotel room, and didn't want to be. I haven't spoken with him since.
Right.
And it just sucks that I can't really go visit my own grandmother, because I got to deal with his dumb drunk ass and just being a piece of shit.
But see, that's partly because your grandmother has chosen that. I've seen that story many times play out the way you described, where the grandmother is the enabler, the child of the grandmother, who could be your uncle, it could be your father, or it could be anybody. That person is protected by the grandmother. And what really has happened there is that the grandmother has made her choice, and that includes her choice regarding you.
Yeah. Exactly what you were talking about earlier, as far as, you could be the good one, and it's still, she'll still side with the addict, and it's perfect. It's a perfect example, because my dad, he wakes up on his days off at 4 a.m. to take my grandmother to dialysis. My uncle, who lives with her, could do that, but he won't. He chooses not to. And my grandma will never look, no matter how successful my dad is, her baby boy is, Uncle Daniel, my drunkle, and she'll just always side with him, no matter what, and he's going to be the reason that she passes away at such an early age, because although I know she takes terrible care of herself, I know that him adding all that stress to her is not helping, and she's aged rapidly within the last 4 or 5 years, just because I know she doesn't get any sleep. My uncle will get wasted and start playing guitar at 2, 3 in the morning, all loud, and she can't get any rest. And it's
but she shows it. You understand? She shows that.
I agree.
That's what I'm trying to say. You know, a lot of people let their grandmother off the hook because they're the grandmother.
No, I know she's an enabler, and a lot of people in the family aren't happy or proud of it, but I mean, you know, she's a battered woman, you know, whether it's physically or mentally.
The reason you can't hang out with your grandmother is because she made the choice to make her life like that so you won't enjoy being around her. She did it.
I mean, I have to, if I want to go visit her, I got to go see him, and I don't want to deal with him. He's really a piece of shit in the biggest thing. He gets wasted, he'll drive up to his parents' or Apple Valley or wherever the fuck to pick up his kids, and drinks and drives with them in the car. He doesn't give a shit. So
right, and the result is that you have to kind of step back and not tear yourself. By the way, if you're sure he's doing that and you want to help him hit bottom, if you know he's driving drunk with the kids in the car, you call this number 911.
Yeah.
Seriously, give him his license plate number. Yeah, you're serious. You know what? I do shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I separated myself from him, but if I ever get the chance or the opportunity to do that when we have kids in the car, I would definitely have no problem reporting his ass.
That's what you should do. I mean, again, these are your cousins we're talking about here.
Yeah.
And so what you want to do is you want to make sure that, look, if he thinks he's going to get away with this shit, you're going to make sure he doesn't. So you give him his license plate number, the make and model of his vehicle, the roads he's likely to be on. 911 doesn't take those calls. If I were you, I'd make that call.
Yeah. No, so I agree with you 100%. And, that's really all I want to say, but I mean, you pretty much hit the nail right on the head with this topic today. I'm really glad you brought it up. I mean, it just really hits close to home. I thought you were speaking right to me beginning of the first hour.
You can tell if somebody has been there, okay? And just like I can tell you've been there. You can tell that, if there are people who bullshit about this topic, the people who form these organizations or they have the treatment centers or whatever, they're full of shit, okay? People who grew up around this, who know it, those are the people I'm telling you about who know what the real deal is. And many people like me who grew up in an environment like that have no tolerance for that bullshit.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. And like I said, I mean, I know it's not smart to get physical or violent or whatever with someone who's belligerent and wasted. But I mean, that was my first instinct, was to knock him out. But then my grandma would have called 911 and I would have gone to jail. So, next time if I ever witness something, I have no problem calling the cops on his ass.
Good for you.
I mean,
and by the way, when she's in jail, then you can visit your grandma.
Yeah. And I felt like a 5-year-old kid watching his dad, yell, talk down to his mom when I'm fucking a 30-year-old man and I'm watching this shit. What the fuck? They're just basically saying, this doesn't concern you. It's like, what the, yeah, it does. I'm fucking here, I'm witnessing it, so it does concern me.
Exactly. Great point, George Golden. Always good to talk to you. Thanks for the call.
Thanks, Tom.
Appreciate it.